Hello, welcome back to Worldbox. It's been a while since we checked out this game, but we have a pretty massive update that has come along, and I thought it was time we check this thing out again. So I'm doing my thing with a giant world map this time. We've got about as big as a map can get, and which means we're gonna have, I think I got like 60 or 70 different empires in on this one, and I think we should try it out. We'll put them, as we do, we build the map, put the empires in, and let them battle it out. So as far as a new update, it's all good things. It's all a diplomacy update, which adds kingdoms can now go war and peace. We can also have like revolts. If an empire gets too big, it will revolt, and certain cities will break off of it. Other cities will sort of like a vassal system, I suppose, will join other empires as well, and you'll see that as this thing starts up pretty quickly. Each kingdom, each city has its own ruler. Of course, each kingdom has a king, and each ruler may or may not be loyal to the king. So that will affect revolutions and wars and all that. It's very, very interesting stuff. So let's build this map and see what we can do with this thing. I suppose I should take this opportunity to plug my. I do have a second channel, by the way, of map drawing. So if map drawing is your thing, I'll put a link to that somewhere. But yeah, we're just building up the map here, as I've done many times before, just a much bigger version of a world map, and one that can hold lots and lots and lots of people. So we'll scoot in here in just a moment, getting some rivers in there, and I think we're just about done. I also populated with stone and gold and iron everywhere as well, so everyone should have decent resources. Here we go. Okay, so we've got all the I think it's like 67 different empires in the game, and you can see it's very, very crowded in certain spots. I did it sort of it's a little bit larger Europe than what's supposed to be, so I could cram a few more folks in there. But yeah, everyone has 10 people living in it, and take note of all the different folks around, because you're going to see some changes happen. I just turn on the diplomacy system and expansion and all that. But you will see very soon, like Ethiopia right there has already conquered Sudan. So they're both the same color. You can see Egypt was bouncing back and forth as well. There's the diplomacy system there. You can see Egypt is at war with Libya and Chad. Romania Germany is at war with UK. You can see it kind of bouncing around there. I'm going kind of quick here, but you can see whoever you're clicking. Like Poland owns now Finland and the Baltics. They have I guess vassalized them or whatever, and they're at war with Romania and Greece. So a lot of things are happening very quickly in here. I didn't forget to mention I added in some like little land bridges to help a few folks out. Japan is connected to the mainland, and New Zealand's a little bit, it's kind of one piece. You can see Poland is growing very big. They've already conquered was it Romania there and Finland and the Baltics. So that's all Poland now. And Colombia was destroyed. Colombia was at war with everybody, basically. Looks like France has already conquered Spain and Portugal. The UK has Ireland, and Sweden has conquered Denmark. Germany's got the Netherlands. But it may switch back and forth. You may see a time where maybe Finland will revolt from Poland, and Finland will be in charge. So you kind of have to keep an eye on the colors. I'm using this mod that I always use by Cody and Doom. It's sort of it's like the mod to use really in the game. It gets rid of the bar that I've got. It's in the way right now. There it goes. And it also allows you to change colors, which is a little bit broken because some of the colors doesn't work. So there's a lot of colors that are sort of the same color because it's kind of messed up. But for the most part, you can see what's going on here. And that bar moving thing is perfect. And I can remove clouds as well. But I think we're about ready to just turn this thing on and let it go for a minute. We've only been going here about 5 minutes. Let's take a look though and see what has happened. Kazakhstan is in the lead with the most people. However, Poland, what's the deal with Poland? Has the most cities with 9. They're kind of taking over the world. No repeat of our small world map though, because the USA has purchased Canada. I'm assuming that's what happened. But you can see there's a mighty Norwegian Polish battle going on here in Europe. And Africa has pretty well mostly switched over to Egypt, and then Kazakhstan owns the Middle East, basically just the central of Asia. And I switch some colors here, so you know what, Korean and Mongolia can be identified there. And North Korea has kind of exploded and taken over South Korea. Australia is doing quite well. They took over New Zealand, and looks like Malaysia has stepped into Tasmania there. Yes, I did remember to put it on the map this time. I got a country here. Looks like a new one has just been founded and revolted, so we're going to put Newfoundland in there, which, oh, look at that. It's Iceland. So Iceland has just moved to America, to North America, and is settled in a new place. We'll call it Iceland 2, because the other Iceland is owned by Greenland now. So that's what we'll fix that. Mexico is still encroaching into America, but also down into Colombia. It looks like, oh, let me fix Peru here and get the colors right, so we can identify them between them and Mexico. Okay, so Peru is owning Colombia now, and it looks like Chile and Argentina have merged into just Chile. I realize they're both kind of side by side. I had to kind of squeeze them in a little bit funny, but they're both in there anyway. The little, not quite the right spot. But let's turn this thing back on, and there we go. Everything happens so fast now. It's been like 5 more minutes, and Poland has fallen. One thing I forgot to mention is the AI is much more intelligent about attacking folks who is the Udawa dynasty. So it's created some sort of new dynasty of the old Polish Empire, which is now capital in Egypt. And now owns all of Europe there. But anyways, you may have seen, and you can see little pixels charging across as they send out armies. It used to be just like 1 or 2 folks would go across enemy lines and try to fight. Well, now they actually send out proper armies, and you can see it from time to time. Algeria just sent a massive army up into Poland, which is what caused the whole the fall of the Polish Empire there. And it's some sort of revolt, so someone else took over, and now it's all owned by whatever. But here we go. We have Tyr, the leader of the UK. Let me show off all this stuff. You can see they all have different stats. He is deceitful. You can see he lives in the UK, which is part of the Udawa dynasty there. And you can also see how he feels about Romania, how he feels about Russia, and so that's where it sort of plays into the fall of the revolutions and the fighting and all that. Anyway, back to the game. Seems to be a lot of action going on here in Europe between the U.S. and Algeria fighting it out. You can see, zoomed out, you can see all the pixels merging there into Europe there, and you can see, zoom in here, we can see all the fighting going on. Apparently, as soon as you get drafted, you head across the Atlantic, just swim as fast as you can to get there and fight it out. And as we can see with the diplomacy screen here, basically everyone hates Africa. And this is the U.S. we're looking at hates all of Algeria, and then they are at peace, however, with the rest of the world. Luckily, they're at peace with South America, so they're not fighting on 2 fronts there. Anyway, back to the game. the war in Europe seems to be a bit over, but we have a bit of a revolution with the U.S. Actually, a couple of revolutions popped up. We have looks like a new Canada has popped up there. It looks like California and Texas seems to have had a bit of a revolt for a moment, and then they got taken back over. But we'll rename these guys New Canada up in Northwest Territory, give them a name again, and most of these folks have gained new empire names because of just the going back and forth and new cities taking over the empires, whatever. I think I mentioned this, that if you see like the stars, those are the capital cities of each empire. And so we have Finland there is, or Decod, whatever they call themselves, is number 1 in first place at the moment. The U.S. is still the same empire they have always been. And they have 10 towns there. And Australia's still there with one guy but no city. So there's Australia and that's swimming somewhere. Old Australia has fallen, but Dickinson, there was a bit of a revolution, took over, and Western Australia has taken over all of Australia and New Zealand now. We take a look at some of the diplomacy here, and it's like the Americans really hate those Europeans, and back at them. Europeans are at war with both America and South Africa, and South Africa is same thing, at war with the other two. Anyway, let's let this thing play out again. We seem to be nearing a stalemate here, where countries will rise and then revolution, and they'll start falling apart again. And speaking of California, Aranovo there seems to have taken over the U.S. U.S. is still around. It's up there in Greenland now. It's been exiled to Greenland and Iceland, but California had a big revolt and sort of swept through the North America there and retook. And oh, by the way, Canada now owns Cuba, and there's a lot of Congo folks rampaging across Africa there. But for the most part, everything seems to be the same. Oh yeah, and by the way, Turkey also has some sort of the Great Turkish Revolution of Europe, which retook Europe from the Finns. Is that who had it before? And so we'll see how long that lasts. And it seems to be bouncing back and forth. There's a few Americans still in. Well, not anymore. It just got switched. But we'll take a look and see at the countries who went first here. And again, most of them have changed their names. It looks like South Africa, which is Congo, there is in first, and we saw I think India and Myanmar is in second place now, and of course Russia's pretty massive. They got 300 folks or something like that just in Russia by themselves, and then the Muminsk dynasty, wherever that is, I'm not actually sure which one that is in third place there, but. We're mostly gonna let this thing play out. I think we're nearing an end here, but I'm gonna let it just play for a while here and see if we can get a someone we can call victorious here, and we'll turn this thing on fast mode. Okay, we've been running here for it's been a few hours actually since I first started this thing. So I think I'm gonna try a couple things though. 'Cause we're kind of at a standstill here, and my computer's starting to chug a bit because of all the action here. Let me turn the sounds back on though. I want that one. Okay. Let me try one thing here. We're gonna go in and go with. I don't want to do too much, but I'm gonna try this with this Thanos thing where half of everyone dies. So this might make things interesting. Let's just see what happens. Oh, you know what? Before I do it, let me look at my stats. I'm curious just to see what like the biggest town is, the biggest kingdom. We've got. Looks like South Africa is still number one with 1,100 people and 7 towns. With 12 towns, though, is the yellow folk, the U.S., well, California. California really has taken over North America and actually into Africa as well, and Spain as well. This is all, once was U.S., now it's California, which took over. U.S. is up in Greenland now. Finland has conquered all of, or is the last one holding all of Europe. Nothing really big, though. The Baltic's pretty big, and Romania. Russia and Kazakhstan are giant. Kyrgyzstan Kyrgyzstan is huge as well. Japan's over there hanging in, very tiny. I don't know where that last Australian went, but he swam. Who knows where he went? And Madagascar gained. Had independence for a bit. I'm not sure who owns it now. Must be Argentina owns it. All right. California got Cuba back. Let's go look and see at number 3 is Finland. And Kazakhstan still is the same empire, which actually isn't Kazakhstan. It's now India, China, Myanmar. Let me go look at. There's another one we can see stats here somewhere, which was in. Is it this one? No, that's that one. This is like history and stuff of everybody. We can come in and we can see like the biggest countries and like live proper stats. Here we go. We're over 900 years into the world. 7,500 people live in this place. There's been 114,000 deaths. And let's see. The biggest village is the U.S. 346. Is it? Oh, biggest like size. Okay, yeah, because they own all of East and all the way up into here. You can see it's a giant spot. Kyrgyzstan, I can't say it right, is the biggest village at 378. And okay, so let's try this thing without getting too crazy. Let's try the old coin. It should kill half of everybody. I think every time should go in half. There we go. Let's do it one more time. Okay. Moved a whole lot of people. Do it one more time. Maybe again. One more time. So we're moving everybody. We're going to see if this should cause quite a ruckus here. I'm at 10x speed right now using that mod. So things should move along pretty quickly. We can actually make it even faster if we want to. We go to 25x. And just let it play out here. I did it again. Whoops. No more. Get my finger off that. Okay. So we'll see. I'll just let this thing fast forward. We actually murdered a few Africans with that. But we'll see if this changes things. There's a lot less folks in the world. This should go extra quick now. We're at about 4 hours of simulating, and I think things are pretty well set. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. We'll wrap this thing up. We can see Congo has unified Africa. Looks like the South America has fallen under the rule of Argentina, and what was once the U.S. has fallen to Mexico. That happened last time we did this. Mexico now owns what was once U.S. Canada has come back. New Canada have united. It was a happy ending for them. Iceland has moved a bit west into the Americas. Greenland, which has now been occupied by the remnants of the U.S. There's actually a lot of folks up there in the frigid wastes of Greenland. Maybe not all wastes. I'm not sure who this. I guess this is Iceland. I guess Iceland came back and took old Iceland, and the Baltics are capital anyway of what is Europe. Who's actually the name? It's going to be the realm of Femiginona, or yeah, that one. So right now the Baltics are owning it. It kind of bounces back and forth. I saw Finland revolt a few times. Russia is still around and has taken Kazakhstan, which I think actually might be the biggest because there's a lot of people in here. Kyrgyzstan is still around somehow, and they haven't really done anything all game. South Korea is giant. In fact, it was just a little bit of revolution over here. South Korea was super giant. Japan's tiny. China's still hanging on in there. India and Thailand are actually two different countries now. And who's this down here? Is this? Oh, this is Thailand down here. Why are they up that? Weird. Myanmar's still around. Malaysia, Australia took their capital back. New Guinea didn't do anything all game. And that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at one last time. We'll take and see if anyone is left. Oh yeah, Kazakhstan's still around, which is actually India. And the USA is still there. They're in Greenland, but they still have their kingdom. And Japan is still there. They didn't do anything, but they stood around, stuck around and did nothing but kept their name. And those are the only empire names that are still around. Other folks have come and gone over time, and I think we're going to have to call it here. Now, there's all kinds of things we could do with this to tear things up. We could drop some bombs on it or whatever, but I don't think we need to do that. I think we'll just drop some Tsar bombas here in Russia. Just is it going? There they go. There they go. They're slowly going. There they go. My PC is chugging because there's a lot of people in this world. It pretty quickly came back from the what's the coin toss. Okay, we'll just bomb everything. Let it all go. Thanks for watching. We may have to do some more of these since diplomacy is a thing now. But I'll see you next time.